They gave me 5 minutes to clear my desk. 5 minutes to erase 5 years of loyalty, sleepless nights, and sacrifice. The boardroom was silent, except for the ticking of the wall clock, a rhythm that mocked my heartbeat. My husband's father, Richard, the CEO, didn't even look at me when he said the words. His voice was calm, almost rehearsed. "You're dismissed, Claire. Effective immediately." I stood there, the air tightening around me. Nia, his new favorite, my husband's mistress, and the department's fresh innovation lead, hid her smirk behind a paper cup of coffee. They expected me to break, cry, plead. Instead, I smiled. "Thank you." The silence cracked, and then, one by one, 22 people stood up and followed me out. That was the moment Richard looked up for the first time. The moment Nia's smile faltered. The moment the company began to collapse quietly, beautifully, from the inside out. I met Ethan, Richard's son, 7 years ago. He wasn't his father's shadow then, just an ambitious man with a kind smile. We started in the same company, me in legal, him in business development. He said he admired my precision, my calm. I mistook admiration for respect. We built our careers side by side. I watched him rise faster than me, but I never complained. I cleaned up his mistakes, covered his lapses, wrote his reports. When his father noticed him, Ethan credited our team. I thought that meant us. It didn't. The first shift was subtle. His phone turned over more often. Late meetings became later. He began complimenting Naya, a junior analyst, on her fresh ideas. I laughed it off. Then one night, he came home smelling of her perfume. That was the night I stopped being his wife and started being his reckoning. I didn't confront him. I observed quietly. I learned more in silence than I ever did through words. Nia was ambitious but sloppy. She used the company card for personal purchases. Ethan signed off on them. Together, they were building something. New projects, side accounts, consulting expenses that never reached the company's ledger. So I built something too. I moved funds legally, strategically. I revised contracts, adjusted clauses, and set up protections under my name. Every signature was legitimate. Every file time-stamped. I backed up everything to an encrypted drive. Proof of fraud, conflicts of interest, and corporate misconduct. All of it tied back to Ethan. All of it traceable through Nia. When the day came, Richard called me into the boardroom, flanked by the leadership team. Ethan sat beside him, his tie straight, his guilt buried under arrogance. Nia was there too. Her lipstick matched the shade of betrayal I'd grown used to. "Claire," Richard said, his tone heavy with false sympathy. "We've decided your services are no longer required. The board has voted to terminate your position effective immediately." He didn't know that I was the board, a silent partner through shares no one thought to trace, acquired legally, discreetly, through divisions they never paid attention to. But I stayed quiet. I nodded as if accepting defeat. "May I clear my desk?" 5 minutes, he said, 5 minutes. Enough time for an ending and a beginning. When I stood up, I didn't pack. I simply turned to the room and said, "Thank you for the opportunity. It's been enlightening." And then David, the head of finance, rose from his chair. "I'm coming with you." Then 2 more. Then 5, then 10. 22 people stood behind me before the minute was up. Richard's pen slipped from his hand. Ethan's face drained of color. Nia tried to laugh. "What is this? Some kind of stunt?" That's when the legal director, the poor man always nervous, picked up his phone, eyes wide as he scanned the internal memo that had just hit his inbox. He whispered, "Get the lawyer, now." I'd scheduled the email for that exact minute, time-stamped to coincide with my dismissal. Attached were documents, financial misconduct, falsified accounts, insider trading communications, all traced to Ethan's login credentials and Nia's digital signature. A separate file revealed Richard's cover-up of environmental violations in the company's overseas branch. The email went to the full board, the audit committee, and the federal regulator. I didn't need to raise my voice. My silence had already detonated. Ethan finally spoke. "Claire, what have you done?" I looked at him, not as his wife, but as the woman who had outgrown him. I did what you taught me. I learned from you. He reached out, desperate. We can fix this. No, I said, stepping back. You can answer for it. By the end of the day, the company stock froze. Investigations opened. Richard resigned for health reasons. Nia disappeared from social media, and Ethan was escorted out under federal supervision. I didn't gloat. I didn't cry. I signed the final document that transferred controlling interest to the new holding company, mine, and walked out of the building for the last time. Freedom due.